Yeah, done.
Okay, thank you. And let me share my screen. Okay, thank you everyone for joining this meeting on time. My name is George and Felix Sinka. I'm a technical functional consultant in Business Central. I'm also a coach in Oracle NetSuite. And again, Doug, Kenyan team leader, that is. Below my contact details, that is. So the purpose of our today's meeting is to go through low code revolution practical with the practical example of automation and the custom hubs. I know we have quite a number of participants joining from different regions, and we really appreciate for that. We are really excited to dive into some great content together. That is. Then the purpose of the meeting is briefly to explain the goal, basically to explain how we can apply low code in different application using Power Hubs, that is, and also Power Automate. And again, that item, it will be highlighted again into details by our speaker just in a few minutes. That is. Again, since this is an online meeting, again, we are also going to have some contrast into these meetings, whereby in a scenario, maybe you are not speaking into the meeting. It will be good if you can mute your microphone. If you have any question, it will be good if you can use the chat. You chat it on the comment, then you'll be able to see the questions. Again, if you are not in a position maybe to type any query, that is, you can raise your hand and they'll be able to see that is. Allow me to introduce our next speaker. That is Madam Madison. Madison is our event coordinator in Dynamics user group. Welcome, Madam Madison.
Thanks. I appreciate it. Yep. As George had mentioned, I'm the event coordinator here with Doug. So I'm going to be joining the meeting to present a few intro slides about who Doug is. And we have an exciting promo code at the end. So I'll go ahead and share that whenever you're ready, George.
Okay.
George, did you want me to go ahead and share it?
Sorry, I can see you are sharing your screen.
I think Angelo's sharing his screen.
Yeah, I'm sharing my screen. Okay. You need to share something, George?
Yeah, allow me share my screen so that Madison can introduce the slides from there.
Okay,
just
sorry.
A second, I share my screen.
Sorry.
No worries. Do you want me to pull them up, George? I have them up.
Madison, you can proceed.
Perfect.
I hope you are able to see my screen.
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah, no.
I am. And I'll make
Thank
it
you.
quick so we can go ahead and get to Angelo and his great speaking session. So I just wanted to go over who Doug is. We are a free community for users, implementers, and resellers of Microsoft business applications. Our mission is to support the Microsoft Dynamics 365 GP and Power Platform community and help people grow personally and professionally in their careers. You can go to the next slide, George. Essentially, what we ask for our rules of engagement is that these meetups are held to be solely educational. So please, no sales pitches, no promoting your personal businesses. We want everybody to feel welcome to come to these meetups and not be sold a product, but everybody's here to learn. And we just ask that of our community. So Dynamics User Group, or DUG for short, we have lots of different programs. We have online forums, we have webinars, conferences, local meetup groups, and we also have a YouTube channel where meetings like this get posted to our YouTube from all of our meetups around the world. So it's a really great educational resource. We obviously encourage you to join the sessions live so you can ask lots of questions, but I think we have a meetup recording about probably every topic that you could possibly think of. So really great educational resources there. We have our 2025 regional meetups coming up. We are going to have our Northeast one in Philadelphia in March. We're going to Copenhagen in April, Canada in June, and we are super excited about this. We are coming to Africa. So we're going to go to West Africa in July, and then we're going to East Africa from the 24th to the 25th. In Nairobi, Kenya. So we are very excited. The DUG team is going to be there, and I hope that you can make it if you're able to. And then we're also going to Colorado in August, Ohio in August, and Texas in September. So this is the big promo code that I wanted to mention to all of you. We have our DynamicsCon, which is the biggest conference of the year. This is a lot larger in scope than all of our other local meetups. It'll be a multiple day event, and we're going to have lots of different sessions, lots of different speakers, networking opportunities, and everybody on this call has a free pass that they can claim until February 28th. So if you're planning on coming to DynamicsCon in Chicago, please use that code. You can get a free pass and it'll save you lots of money, and it's a great opportunity. So I'll just send that code in the chat for everybody as well. But I'll pass it back over to you, George. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Madison, for that insightful presentation. That is our next speaker is called Mr. Ajero Gulisano. This is one of the genius guy again in this a small world. It's a Microsoft MPP MCT, and again an independent Microsoft 365 and Power Platform consultant. That is. Mr. Ajero will be taking us through the low-code revolution by use of real practical cases, and again from there we will be able to interact. So welcome to the session, Mr. Ajero. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much, and thank you to everybody for attending my session. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay, we can start. So this is the title of the session: Low-Code Revolution and Practical Example of Automation and Custom Apps. So the idea, sorry, let's introduce myself. As George told you, I am an independent Microsoft 365 and Power Platform consultant. I am MVP for BIDS application and MCT. I am also speaker, blogger, and PMP contributor. Here the address of my blog. I am an IT consultant with around 17 years experience in the IT industry, and I really in love with Microsoft Power Platform and generally with in general with Microsoft technologies. So the agenda of today, we are going to do a little introduction around Power Platform, and we are going to touch the 3 points of this session, which is Power Apps, Power Automate, Copilot Studio. Then we have a demo time, and the end of the slide is thanks. The idea is to introduction of Power Platform. As everybody knows, Power Platform is a low-code platform developed by Microsoft that allows us to create which one platform we can create business application manage processes. We can build chatbot. There are a lot of tools that we can use in Power Platform to do something around the business application. And the goal is to you can do everything without writing too much code. It's a low-code platform, and it has a lot of advantages to adopt this platform from performance point of view. We have a really performance improvement because our application help companies to work more efficiently, and this is translated into better result and greater employee and customer satisfaction, and reduce time to market. Cost savings, because through the automation we are able to reduce operating cost by eliminating manual processing, error, waste of time, and we can improve the quality of the services, and in this way we can also achieving indirect savings, like reducing waste of paper, for example, or other resources. We have also risk reduction as advantages because application improve data security, ensure regulatory compliance, help preventing errors, manual errors, or operational interruption. So in this way, we can reduce also the risk or in our processes. And finally, business transformation, because with these tools we can innovate our business model, and our solution enable company to transform this business because they can quickly adapt to market changes with our application, with the launch new product, service, and replace outdated system. So we can be more competitive. In this way, the first tool is Power Apps. Power Apps is allow us to create business application in low-code way that we can use in any device. For example, mobile phone, Android or iOS, tablet, PC, and with Power Apps we can build application in 2 ways. We have Canvas application and model-driven. Canvas application give us a drag and drop interface. So you are going to draw your application. You have a canvas, and here you can draw your control, your screen, and write low-code formulas called the Power Effects. And this is really simple to use and is similar to Excel formulas. In this way, so you can develop a high customized interface and relay your creativity to build your application. Model-driven are application which is based to data, is process-oriented, and you are going to build a table and relationship before, and then you can quickly generate your application. And this is really quick to do. And another advantage is that the user experience is consistent across all your model-driven application. Then is a really quick introduction. Power Automate allow us to create automation and workflow. We can integrate 100 of application services from Microsoft, but also from third-party with our connectors. And with Power Automate, we can reduce repetitive tasks such as sending notification, collecting data, synchronizing file, etc., without any programming skills. And last but not least, Copilot Studio. Copilot Studio is a graphical low-code tool that allows us to create a chatbot or agent, including automation integrated with the Power Automate, of course, and Microsoft 365. And with this studio, we can create in a few minutes a practical AI assistant. So it's really, really nice tool to use. So if you don't know, there's a fantastic instrument. You can start for free. You can create a free trial to try these tools. Power Apps has no time trial limits. Power Automate 90 days, and Copilot Studio Power Pages 30 days, and Power BI 16 days. There are all tools inside the Power Platform solution. So demo time is a user group. We want to do something and not reading slide. So 1 second, I'm going to share my screen and we can start with the demo. Okay, 1 second. Share. Okay, let me know if you see my screen.
Yes, I
George?
can see from my end. Yeah.
Fantastic. So basically, we are, sorry, I forgot the last one slide before start the demo. The idea is to create a solution based on Power Apps, SharePoint, Power Automate, and Copilot Studio. So the idea is the user create a budget request with Power Apps. The budget request is stored to SharePoint list. This fire approval process for approver, and if the approver user approve the request, our flow going to create a document and upload the document in a SharePoint document library, and then the user can ask to Copilot Studio some information about his request. This is the macro idea. So 1 second. Okay, we can start. I just created the list. Okay, so we can use this list to start the process. We have budget request list with title of the request, description, created date, which is a standard column from SharePoint. Also the same for created by, is the user who created the record in SharePoint. I created a status column where we can create the request as pending, approved, draft, or rejected. Approval notes, the requested budget in dollars, and response date. So the idea is start to create, as a first step, our Power Apps to allow the user to create the request. So we are going in our Power Apps Power Platform environment. Budget request demo. And I'm going to create a solution. Solution is, I don't know in English, is our box when we can store all objects around our solution. So we can create agent, apps, flow, all together inside our solution. So we can start with create a Canvas app. We can choose the format of our application, if it is a tablet or a phone. We can choose tablet. and we can start with develop our application. So first of all, we need to create a screen to show the request and allow the user to create a new request. So select the data, and we are going to looking for SharePoint connector and create a connection to our list budget request. Then we are going to create a new form, a new screen, sorry. I choose this format because it contains also the container that allow me to has a nice graphical interface of our application. So I'm going to rename this screen, and here we are going to add components. We don't have modern controls, so 1 second. I want to use the modern controls. Okay. Header. Okay. So here we are going to put some information here. Budget request up. Want to see the logo, and the idea is to put to see data here and apply some filter here. In this way, we can choose 2 different components. Here we can, for example, see the item in the table, or for example, in the gallery. Okay, gallery is more flexible because you can put some control in gallery and show data as you want, and the table is traditional table. And then we can also add the toolbar to allow the user to create or edit or delete selected record. So first of all, I'm going to add the toolbar, which is a new component in preview, but we can try to use it. And then I'm going to drag and drop, as you can see, and drop our table here. So we can connect our table to SharePoint list. Okay. And we can apply flexible 8 to use full 8 of our application. 1 second, I have an issue with my mouse. Okay. So here, as you can see, you can put a table with data budget request in the item properties of your table, and it works. It shows the data inside the list. Of course, here we don't have any filter. We are going to add some code here to use this. So in this case, I want, for example, to add a filter, for example, for title. So align text to the center and add an input text to allow the user to put some information to filter our list. Txt filter. And we can add some pixel to gap to have more distance between all controls, and add some padding left and right. Okay, and also from top. So is nice than before. So how can we filter our list with this information? Basically, we are going to use a filter formula, which asks us the data source, which is a budget request from SharePoint list, and we can apply some filter. In my case, for example, I want to use starts with, because it's a delegable filter. So I can filter my, the idea is to filter my request with the start text of title, for example. So I choose my column is title and txt filter dot value, and this is our final formula. Filter budget request. The second parameter starts with title txt filter value. Let's try. Okay. As you can see, it's not really applied near real time, because in the model control you have a property to do this, is a trigger output property, and is set to focus out. So the filter is applied when you push out the focus. But for example, you can change this, for example, with key press, and in this case is near real time. Okay, etc. So we have created the first filter. Of course, it's a demo, but in a real scenario, you can apply other filters and add some conditional here in end or in or, etc., to add more filter to your table. Then here we have show all the information in this list. And the second one is to allow the user to create a new budget request. Okay. How can we do that? We have a toolbar, and is pre-configured by Microsoft. In this way, you have item properties, which is a table with some properties for each row: item key, item display name, icon name, etc. And the idea is that you have a onSelect property, which drive the action based on your item key. So if you press new, this case is just to do a notify, but here we are going to put our code. Let's try. New clicked, edit clicked, info clicked, etc. So the idea is to create another form which allows us to create a new request. So I use, for example, this one. Budget request. Okay. The idea is to have a similar graphical layout. So I can do some copy and paste. And when user click on new or on edit or edit, sorry, you're going to do here to edit your request or create a new one. We are going to add some button to save and cancel. btn save. I usually rename everything in our app. Save and icon save and copy and paste etn cancel. I don't know, we can use this one. Okay. So I'm going to add some information to our container to align my control. Okay. Okay. It's okay for a demo. The idea is if user click cancel back function allow us to come back, and the idea is to use a form control to have the possibility to create in a really quick way a new item or edit item. Okay, it create the control for us. I usually rename the control, so frm request, and when click to new, I'm going to the same form to create a new request, and if I click edit, I need to edit the request. So in this way, we can go to the new, and instead notify, we can do this one. Navigate to screen budget request, and we need to pass the property to use in our form. So I'm going to use the transition, and the second one parameter is transition. You can use what you want, is a graphical transition, and third parameter is context. In the context, we can pass variable from home screen and budget screen. In my case, I can create, for example, CTX, acronyms of context request, and in this case is a new request. So I use the false and specify the data source which is budget request. So in this way, this allows us to navigate to budget request and pass CTX request variable, which contains a new record, the blank record. And if we want to edit record, we can do the same, but we need to pass our record. So here is table 1. So we can take the table 1 dot selected, and we can pass the selected item to our table. Then we should do delete, etc., etc. But for the demo purpose, we just add the new and edit. Here we can configure our form. We should configure the item properties, which is a CTX request from the previous screen. And we are going to configure also on success. Okay, on success represent the action we are going to do if the operation is successful. So our idea is to notify, okay, with the success color, and come back. So if you press cancel, go back. Now the last one part, if you can save, we need to save the information on the new record or on updated record. To do that, you just use this formula, submit form, and the name of form is FRM request. We can try the first part of the demo. So new test request, description. Of course, we are in the real case, we are need to customize this because, for example, if you create a new request, the default is draft, okay? But just to test, also you cannot specify approval note, and for example, budget and response date is not from our part. So it responds okay, and it create a test request for us. In the same way, if you selected this one and you do edit and change, for example, requested budget, it also updates the record. Basically, we have built our app for this this quickly demo. This is the first part. Okay, it's really quickly approach with Power Platform to build some application like this one. Of course, here we don't have some complex logic, etc., but it's work. So now we can go to Power Automate to create a flow who manage the approval process. Okay. So I'm going to here, automation, cloud flow, and we need to go to create our flow. We have three possibilities, sorry. The different is just on the trigger of your flow. In this case, automated when you need to have a flow which is triggered automatically. For example, if you create a record on SharePoint or on databases, or if you receive the mail, etc. Instant if you want to call your flow manually, and scheduled if you need to have a scheduled flow. In our case, we are going to use automated flow. So the flow name is budget request approval flow, and the trigger is when an item is created from SharePoint. Okay. The first connector is the trigger. Here we are going to connect our trigger to our site address of SharePoint, list name, budget request. Here, in the real case scenario, you should use environment variable to do that, because if you want to deploy your solution to the customer, you don't have usually the going to modify your solution in the customer environment, in production environment. So instead, site address as here, you should use environment variable. In this case, it's okay because it's a demo or dev environment. So when an item is created on budget request, the idea is to start an approval process. To do this, we are looking for approval, and we have a lot of options. My idea is to start and wait for approval, because the flow waiting for user action. And in this case, we can select the approval type. when you can have basically two options, approve and reject. So the flow asks with two buttons, approve and reject, and everyone must approve. If you have a lot of approvers, or first to respond, or custom response if you want to wait all response which have a custom button to approve or reject. In my case, first to respond, approve, reject, and we can go. So we can configure the data of approval. For example, budget request by, and here we can use the data of the connector before this one. In my case, for example, I want to show the display name of the user who created the request, budget request from Angelo, or the ID, or what you want. Assign it to the user which the request will be assigned. In the real case, you are going to, for example, get the boss of the user who created the request, etc. Here I'm going to put my email address, which I prepared before. Okay. And in details, you can compose with Markdown your approval contents. For example, budget request, and hello, there is a budget request from created by display name, requested budget is, and here we have, for example, requested budget fields, reason, punti, we have reason in title field, etc., etc., etc. So if you want, you can put also item link and item description to allow the user to click on request. And then if the outcome is approved, we are going to do something. So we are going to choose the control condition. We are going to get the outcome of our approval, if is equal to approve, because it's a standard approve or reject request. What we need to do? So basically, we are going to update our record and set this to approved. I'm looking for SharePoint and update item action. As we do before, we need to set the site address, we need to set the budget request, and you need to update a record, and you need to set the primary key of the record to update. In this case, we have the ID of the when an item is created connector. In this way, we are going to set this one to approved. Then we can, if we have time, we can, for example, grab the comments and put the comments here, etc. But we are going to more quickly. And in this case, if not, is rejected. Okay. Then the idea is to create also a document if the request is approved. And in this way, I just prepared a simple Word template. let me find Word. I think is premium. Okay, populate a Microsoft Word template. Okay, so I have a Word template in my OneDrive for Business repository. Word templates. Okay, budget request. And here I create, I can show you template. Is a simple template with date, budget, approval name, submitted by email, etc. And the idea is to put some information here. Budget, date is created. Requestor is created by display name, and approver name, in this case, I am the only person in my tenant, so okay. We are going to populate a Word template, and now we need to create a file action to put the template inside SharePoint. So create file, SharePoint, as I do before, budget request. I tried it before, but I think we can use, okay, this one, okay. Share documents. Okay, and here we are set the file name, for example, request id docx, and the content of the file is the result from populate Word template. So in this way, when the approver approved the request, our flow going to create a Word file in our SharePoint. We can try the second step of our application. So test manually, and here we are. Go to Word. Have a lot of tests. Can start from clean. So here is pending. We are going to create a new request from our application. Okay. Perfect. So new laptop. I need a new laptop. Well, not no. And we can save. So I created a new request, and we can see if our flow starts. Okay. When an item is created was triggered, in output you can see the request. Okay. with the body of the request of our SharePoint item. Okay, and now the flow is waiting for approval. So we have received our email, budget request from Angelo Gulisano. Hello, this is a budget request from Angelo Gulisano. Request budget is this one. Reason is this one. Now we can approve and check the last part of our flow. Okay, it worked. And it should be approved our item, populate a word template, and create file. Let's check if it's true. Okay, request 5. Okay, so date, budget, approval name. I forgot the email, but it's worked. And our I think there is a new one. Let me refresh. We need to add a refresh button here, but is approved. So the second part was completed. Now we can create the last part of our flow, which is create an agent in Copilot Studio where the user can ask some information around his approval request. The idea is really simple. I'm going to the same environment. I want to go here, new agent. Okay. Okay. So first of all, we need to specify the language of our agent. In this case, is English, is okay. Budget approval agent. We can give the name, and now we can specify the description of our agent. You are friendly bot who help users to find information regarding their budget request store in SharePoint. And we need to give the extraction to our bot. In this case, for example, give informations about budget request document stored in SharePoint. Provide as information if you found them. And title, request budget, approver name, for example. And the last part is to specify the knowledge base of your chatbot. In my case, I want to get the data from SharePoint. So this one, the URL of the sites, okay. And we're going to create our agent. And see the artificial intelligence in action. Okay. Yeah, 5. Demo effect. Oh, it's work. Okay. The budget request title request 5 has budget of this one and was submitted by Angelo Gulisano. The approver name is this request approved? Okay, in this case, they doesn't provide other information here, so we can modify the instruction. This case in simple, really simple way. I don't know if we have the information about approved or not here. No, because it's always approved. We can add, for example, add the date. Save. Is not provided, but it saved it now, so we can ask it again. Okay, now it's saved. And we have built our approval agent. Then, when you are ready, you can deploy it on a different way. So, for example, you can publish your chatbot to mobile app, to Teams, the website, etc., etc., etc. But the purpose of this session is to show how can use our platform and his instruments and mix all together to allow a real business case for your customer. So I finished for my demo. Before I show you the last slide, if you have any question, I am happy to reply. Or if you want to see something which is not clear, I'm here. Okay, no question. So here are my link. If you want to reach me on LinkedIn or GitHub or X, here are my links. And thank for joining and thank for attending my session.
Hi, Angelo. I have one query on licensing. So what is the cost per user? How is it costed or something?
Yeah. So in this case, you need to have a license for Power Automate Flow, because we used the Word connector, which is premium. So you need to buy a Power Automate license. I think the cost is around $20 for a month. Let me check. Let me show you here. And yes, I think you can use Power Automate Premium because you are going to use a Word connection, which is premium. And from the Power Apps point of view, you don't have cost because the license is included in your Office 365 subscription, because we used the connector of SharePoint which is included in your subscription. So you don't have to pay Power Apps license. And from Copilot Studio, you have two possibilities. You have license for people, $30 for people in your organization which use your bot, or you have a license around $20 for a month for 2,000 calls, if I remember correctly. Of course, I want to show the agent, but if you want, you can, for example, build some functionality around your application, for example, to show the approved request, to get the document. So it's not really necessary in this case the chatbot.
Okay, so no, something got me excited. So with the Office 365 Basic or Premium that you get the Power Apps by default, just the Office 365.
Yeah, You have Power Automate, but not Premium, just Power Automate. And if you don't need to create, a Word template, okay, from Word template, if you don't use Word connector, you can use the Power Automate license with your Microsoft 365 subscription. So without to pay license.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
I also have a question.
Yeah.
Azera. And then my question is that, do I need to know any programming language to use a low-code platform effectively?
You don't need to know any programming languages before, but of course, if you want to use Power Apps and you want to build Power Apps, you should have some logic in your mind. I don't know if it's correct in English, but you should learn PowerFX. Okay. I was a developer before Power Apps, but so for me it's really simple. But if you never write a line of code before, you can start studying PowerFX languages, which is not difficult because it's really like Excel formula. Filter, submit form is really simple. You can do this in a really low code way.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that. Then again, maybe can we get maybe a link whereby maybe we can log in and try to check on how we can build this hub? Maybe a learning page.
Link to PowerFX, sorry, or
maybe where we can try to check on how you have built this application status.
Oh, this application is in my environment.
Okay.
If you want, I can export the solution and give you the solution to import on in your environment. And if you want to start, you can use a free trial.
Okay.
And create environment to do some experiment.
Okay, I think that's okay. That's okay. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing that link.
Thank you to you.
Maybe another person with another question before we go to the next stage.
Other question? No?
Okay. Another question, maybe, before we go to the next stage?
There is no question.
I think there's no question. So Mine is to thank you.
Thank you to you.
MCT MPP 0 for the detailed walkthrough of the low-code platforms. I think your explanation and the real case examples truly has helped us to understand more about the Power Hubs. We really appreciate for your time and again your effort to walk us through the concept in such a clear and engaging way. We are excited to put this insight into practice and start building our own solutions using low-code platforms. That is, we are also grateful to know that we'll be able to consult with you as we move forward. Again, as we also continue to build this application in a scenario we are going to get stuck. Thank you very much. I think this time I will welcome MCT Msangi to share with us something before we close the meeting. Thank you. Welcome, Mr. Msangi.
Thank you for inviting me. It was a really, really pleasure. Thank you, George.